Hi guys, this is Tamara Hergert. I am here with Rachel Berkowitz. Is that the right way to pronounce your last name?
Yes, Rachel Berkowitz, that's correct.
Perfect. So she's an amazing artist. I highly encourage you to go to her website. It's rachelberkowitzart.com and just poke around, check out her art, and follow her on Instagram and Facebook. It is beautiful and so sophisticated, so elegant, and
Thank you.
love it. So yeah, check it out. And Rachel, I'm gonna give the mic to you so you can just introduce yourself a little bit and tell us how you started out. I assume it was always a passion. you know
Yes, very much so. Thank you so much, Tamara. That was such a nice introduction. Thank you. I'm honored. Yeah, so it started out, I was a child and I was always practicing art. I grew up in London. And in London, there's just more of a culture, I feel like, for parents to kind of bring their kids to museums all the time. Whereas here, I haven't seen it as much. So I was very lucky being brought up in that kind of environment. So I guess from the age of 4, almost every weekend I'd be at different art workshops hosted by artists at like the National Gallery, the Tate Modern. And so I was exposed to it from a really young age. And I always just absolutely loved it. It just made me so happy. Art class was just the best thing of my life, and I was just begging my parents to take me to museums whenever, wherever. So that's
That's
kind of how it
great.
started. So I have a passion for art history a lot as well, and I do feel like that comes through in my work all the time. So that's really important to me too.
It
And
does.
then I moved to Los Angeles in 2012 to go to UCLA, the School of Fine Art, and I studied painting and photography. And
Wow.
so, yes, with my with the professors who just like changed my life. Larry Pittman, who was one of my favorite painters, currently alive in Los Angeles. He was one of my teachers, and I had a bunch of other amazing teachers too. But that was really a great experience for me. And then I stayed in Los Angeles because I was actually born in America. So I'm very lucky that I'm
Yeah.
able to have this great opportunity to stay here after college, and I've loved it. I've really loved living in Los Angeles, and the art community is amazing. It's so different. It's so vibrant. There's so many different kinds of places to show, and different events, and different kinds of people. So I've really loved that about LA, how multidisciplinary it is.
Yes, it is. I can see LA in your art. Like,
Really?
yeah, like water
Yeah, the
and
lights.
sunshine, and there's
I
it's
think,
very
yeah.
flowy, and it's not beach art, but there's like in you can feel the sandy color in your in a lot of your paintings, and
Yes.
that
Oh,
kind of
yes. I love that you say that. I go on a lot of hikes here, and I love just exploring the nature around LA and California. So that's definitely been a huge inspiration for me in my artwork. So I'm glad that you see that. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, so let's jump into my questions. I have four. Um, So, question number one: how do you open yourself up to amazing opportunities? Because it has been my experience that it's not so much about what you do, but how you do it. Because you can do a lot of work and spin your wheels, but your mindset, like
Hmm.
where your heart and soul is, it's
Hmm.
just not vibrating the right way, and so it's not really like pulling things towards you. So
Hmm.
once you sort of like exhale and relax and just make yourself super peaceful, just like um, everything is good, I'm kind, I'm love, I'm
Yes.
joy, and just once you start vibrating on that frequency, it's like a floodgate opens up. Yeah.
Totally. I totally agree with you on that one. I feel like it's also a self-confidence and self-love aspect as well. The more that you believe in yourself and the more that you love yourself and appreciate yourself, then everybody else can kind of feel that and is drawn to that energy. And the more that I remember that, you just have to constantly remind yourself. I think that that's like the main way to get back into that mindset, because everyone's self-critical, you know,
Yes.
we all hate ourselves, we're artists, but but people can tell when you're not having a good day if you're not able to kind of change that mindset. So
Yeah.
a lot of my artwork actually recently is about bringing people into that mindset and reminding you to connect and commend yourself and feel accomplished and grateful for, you know, who you are and where you are.
Yes.
And that kind of self-love and confidence is something that I really, really strive to support people to perform and to make them understand that about themselves.
Yeah.
In that kind of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I can totally see that in your art. You know, it's very flowy and yet so intentional. And like you can see that you actually, you know, thought about the composition and how it all plays together and the color balance. It's all there, but yet it's free. You know, it's not
yeah.
super over.
Yeah, and I think for me, that's exactly what painting is for me. For me, it's a kind of like a release of this energy that you have an intention for. Like my intention is to get it away from myself and then to bring it to other people. So for me, that really is, it's like a intentional freedom, an intentional gift to an audience. That's kind of how I view painting. And also the materiality of it is just fun for me. I find it like a joy because it's kind of uncontrollable in some way. And it's the opposite to photography, which is also a passion of mine. And I love how, you know, contrasting that is. So photography, you know, it's there to capture every single element and you can control everything and every part of it is important, but it's composed and you can make it perfect. Whereas painting, it's just like the opposite to me. It's a moment for experimentation and for techniques and for enjoyment, really, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're nailing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So second question, how did you get your foot in the door with galleries? So I've seen the list of all the shows you've done. It's amazing. You know, I was thinking that, man, I thought I had a lot of energy and I do a lot of stuff, but I think it was right next to me.
Yeah, I think again, it's about being confident and being open. And with the galleries, you just have to apply. You just really have to look at an opportunity that you think you might be with. Sometimes people just apply for anything, and I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend, you know, taking the time, looking at 10 applications, thinking, okay, I could apply to all of these. I could be spending money because, you know, you have to spend money to apply to galleries and applications. And it is a process and it's a long writing process. And I think the only way to really get those opportunities is to show in your writing how much you want to do them. So if there's a particular gallery or residency that I really think I would work well with, I put the time in and I sit there and I really think about what I want to say, and I write, I rewrite, I send it to my friends, I send it to, you know, people who I think could give me critical feedback, and I really make sure to connect in that way. I think writing about your work is really, really important.
Yeah, you know, it is so true.
Yeah, I mean, I see artists here all the time that have unbelievable artwork, but they don't really know how to describe it or write about it or how to apply. And I think once you kind of do it a lot, you just kind of do it every day almost. You get the hang of it and you figure out how to talk about your work. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, and with some galleries, you know, they want a lengthy application, but most of them, they want it very concise. They're just pretty much scanning your application with their eyes, okay, and they're scanning your artwork, and they're thinking to themselves, how can I use this? And your job in your application is to prove that you're a professional. That's number one. That, you know, you can show up. You can show up in a presentable way. Yeah. With your art and for your art, present yourself and present the gallery, because you know they're trusting you.
Yes.
Professional.
You have to show that you could show up, and honestly, lots of artists can't. I mean, I have to have a lot of discipline sometimes, even with myself, to be like, okay, I need to be on time for this meeting. I need
Yes.
to do this. You know, I need to show people that I'm serious, and
Yes.
it's really important. It is serious. I take myself, I take my artwork very seriously, but I take myself very lightheartedly. So there's like the two,
Yeah.
the two balances.
Yeah. And I think having at least one professional shot of yourself, where
Mhm.
you are surrounded by your art or in a professional, setting with your easel or, just something where it's the light is good. You're sitting there
Yes.
and you're confident, you're peaceful, and you're also radiating, that you want to
Yeah, and
come.
you can just get a friend to shoot it on an iPhone nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
you can just put that thing on portrait mode and take a great photo. I think that having really good headshots is really important, because it also shows who you are with your artwork. Sometimes people fall in love with the artist and then they see the artwork. Sometimes it's the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even distinguish the two because there isn't that connection. So
Yeah.
it's whatever you make it to be. But I really do think having a good headshot of recent artwork is also very important.
Yes.
I think don't show one with an old piece that isn't relevant to what you're currently trying to show. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And another thing that I think is important in the application process is a headshot, concise bio, or your statement of what who are you, who you are, and what it is that you do. And the last component is value.
Mhm. Mhm.
So value comes from two things. One thing is, what have you done before? Basically, all the things that you have done before, they add up. It's like sometimes I think building your career as an artist is like building an English cottage.
I love
You're
that. Yes.
sort of taking one little stone and like mold it.
No, definitely. And I really do feel that way about opportunities too. I'm not 100% a yes girl, but I think I'm like 90% a yes girl, because I do feel like even if it's a one evening event where you get to showcase your artwork and that's one night and you think, oh, I have to get my artwork there, I have to go.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort, it's a lot of work, it's going to cost me money. I think it's always worth it because you never know who you're going to meet, you never know
Yes.
what's going to come of it. And then if nothing comes of it, it's an opportunity that you had and you can build your house with that. Exactly.
So for art shows and events, I have a rule. The rule is that even if it doesn't bring me any sales or money right now, basically, oftentimes you show up for an art show or a fair or something, but basically if it's a public event where I'm going with my art, I'm bringing a photographer.
Yeah, I really, really strongly agree with that. And you know
Because,
what? You're also helping out a fellow artist by doing that too.
yes,
Someone
yeah,
that you want to support, which I think is also very important.
yeah, and because after that event, you are taking home at least 20 really good photos that you can
Yes.
use everywhere. And those good photos will bring you so many paid opportunities because you are in the setting doing stuff that you want. They, basically, it is just a leap forward. It's $150
Yeah.
that you're in right now to get way more later.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. I think that like documenting yourself and your artwork is so important, and documenting it in the right way can lead to so much more. I agree. I used to not really realize that, and I'd have like these amazing shows and events, and I never really had good photos from them, and I soon realized that was a huge mistake. And you have to follow up with people too. You follow up with the person who ran the event, who ran the show, and ask them if they can send you stuff. Just ask. There's always something going on. But if you don't ask for it or inquire, then
But you see, when you bring a photographer to the event, and when you tell the gallery owner that you're bringing a photographer, they're treating you really differently. They will
Totally.
introduce you to their collectors. They will put the photos of you with your art into their newsletters because you shared those photos with you with them,
Yes.
and then they they have that material because they need photos.
Yeah.
They need
Good
photos.
photos too. Yeah. I mean, it helps them as well. Totally. Yeah.
So that's how you bring value. So number one, that's good photo of yourself when you're applying. Number two, good statement. Number three, it's list all the things you've already done. Like, for example, I've been on this TV channel or on this show or on this podcast or exhibited at 40 galleries or, done 15 solo art shows, basically listing all that summary. It basically elevates your profile.
Yes.
They already want you. Like at that point, once you list that, it's a yes from
yes.
the
No, I totally agree. Which is why I go back to what I said before. I'm quite a yes girl when it comes to opportunities, because everything is important. Everything that you showcase your artwork in is important and should be noted and should be documented. So
I think it's very smart. I think that's very smart that you put all of your art shows and your basically everything you've done and everything what's coming up in your about page, because your two most visited pages are home and about.
Yes, exactly.
And products.
Yeah, you have to remember to update everything. Update
Yes.
your CV on the Word document, update your website, making sure that everything is constantly updated. I have to do that kind of once a month and sit down and make sure everything I'm doing is updated, because you never know, someone might click on something and then the date's passed and that just kind of is a bad reflection on you. So I need to be better at that myself. I'm trying.
With CV, I actually don't really like CV, because in CV it's like so formal. They want you to like create this artist statement, and I have such a big diversity of what I do that it's hard for me to just put myself in this little boxy paragraph of what is it that my artwork is reflecting. But if I'm pitching a particular series of artworks, it's a particular style, then I will only speak about that. But I will also say that I'm an award-winning artist, and that is a catchy thing that is true, and that basically gets their attention right away.
Yes, you have to kind of speak grandiosely about yourself. I feel as an artist, even if you don't believe it, even if you're feeling not good that day, you just kind of have to do that, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for those catchphrases that are going to be, oh wow, I should probably consider this person.
And that's how you get to work with bigger brands, because they want that kind of level of professionalism, because the more you build yourself up with these little stones by stones by stones, and it's all very meticulous, and the more people start treating you accordingly. They look at you and they say, okay, I want to work with this person and not with that person, because this person is definitely going places, and I want to be aligned with this bigger brand, because basically when you're presenting yourself that way, you are becoming that brand. And you can wear a t-shirt and little shorts at home and be as relaxed and laid back as you want. We're all normal people. We're not artisty all the time, but when you're showing up for yourself and your art, you definitely you have this well put together look. And so I love your backdrop.
Oh, thank you.
It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is it a mural? It looks like a mural.
It's not actually. It's actually a very large painting. I'll show you.
Wow. That's so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, when I'm done with a painting, I like to just look at it for a very long time and sit with it. So it's like I have this one space on my wall where any finished painting goes right after it's done and stays there for as long as it needs to. for me to make sure it's done. So this is in the let's see if it's done phase. Yeah.
I think it looks beautiful.
Oh,
It,
thank you. Yeah, I'm having a show next week on the 12th of August in a gallery called Great Art Space, and it's in Beverly Hills, and this is one of the pieces that will be in it. And
it looks
yeah.
elegant.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And it's not busy or overdone. I like how you left the space around it. Just
Yeah, at first I thought, oh no, I should probably, continue this bouquet all the way out. And then I thought, no, I like the simplicity of this one. Some of them are very crazy and they're very out, they're flowy, and I'm sure you've seen them. But yeah, no, this one is definitely more minimalist, very very soft with the colors, just one color tone, the blue hues, and that's it. I wanted to make this one down. Yeah, very different. More somber and calm. Yeah.
Okay, so question number 3, solo versus group art shows. So what has your experience been like with solo shows and group art shows?
It's very hard to get a solo show nowadays because there's so many artists, so many great artists, and unless you really have a good connection with the gallery, it's very difficult to just suddenly have a solo show. Group shows is a lot easier, and I think that they happen a lot. And I think there's specific categories for where you might fit into. So depending on if you're a female, if you're a male, your race, anything like that, if you search those things that apply to you, you're going to find something that fits you. And there are lots of group shows that are able to go with all those categories. And I do love a group show because it allows you to meet the other artists. You kind of all have something in common. Maybe there's a common theme, and the person who's running the group show clearly has an affinity towards you, so you can make that connection. And yeah, having a group show is so much fun. And then you know what? It's less pressure on you because so many people are going to come through because there's so many artists in the show. And it kind of gives you more of a sense of a community. Whereas having a solo show sometimes can be a little stressful because you think, oh my gosh, everyone who's coming is just coming for me. Is it just going to be my friends? Is it just going to be a few people? I don't know. So that's always something I find a little bit stressful with having a solo show. But it's just getting people to come it's crazy because you think about it, and if someone said to you, oh, I want to go to this art opening, it's free, there's drinks, it'll be fun, I would always say yes. But it's just knowing when that's happening and getting the word out that I think is very difficult for young artists, especially just to reach people. I think people would come if they knew. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from pre art show promotion.
Yes.
I remember seeing a really good example of pre and during and post art promotion. Arthur Haywood was one of the artists I interviewed a while ago, and he had this show, and so after he put up all of his artworks, so he did a series of reels for 2 weeks. So basically he shot 12 reels, and for 12 days he posted a reel of him in the gallery and inviting everybody to come. It was a short video, and he would just stand next to one piece and say, hey, this piece is inspired by that, come check it out. The show is happening on that day, and come, it's free, there'll be drinks, and it's going to be fun, and it's at that time on that day. And so that was very effective because he got a lot of people to see that, and it was live, and it wasn't like it wasn't it was very friendly. Like
that's great. I'm doing something similar actually now too, where I wouldn't normally post a reel every day, but I'm forcing myself to do that, which is literally just a painting reveal. So I just show a painting that maybe I haven't shown in a long time, or it's new. It could be anything. Maybe it's something I've already sold, and it doesn't matter. Just showing my work. And it's been really great. I thought it'd be annoying for people, but lots of people are responding so well, and I think it's important as an artist because everything's missed nowadays. People are just scrolling and even look at anything. And a painting you've been working 3 weeks or straight on, could just be completely overlooked, and you could make a post and no one would ever see it. It's just, that's how it is. It's an overly saturated market.
Yes.
So in order to stand out, I think you really do have to be persistent and post every day. And even if you don't want to post that day, just do something. Post something you've already posted. It doesn't matter. It's all about just being visible. Yeah.
I'm personally all about like inner peace and like creating this life for myself where I'm not in my phone or on my
yeah, that's all artists. It's the struggle. Yeah. I mean, for me, I make a painting and I don't want to film it. I don't want to like have to think about that. So sometimes I just like put my phone down and I just put on a time lapse, and then I forget that it's even there. That's something I would recommend. Or, just filming it after and filming it before. That's it. Then put your phone away, because it's a distraction and it's hard. It's hard to like remember to do that.
So the thing that really works well for me, and we, not just social media, but with all of my other projects, is that I compartmentalize. I choose a day when I feel inspired to create a whole bunch of content. A day when I feel like, okay, well, today is my day when I'm filming a whole bunch of posts. And the thing is, they don't need to be long. That's
They could be 3 seconds. Yeah.
So, and I just film it, and I have my scripts. I film it, and I edit it, and then I schedule it, and I forget about it completely. Whatever engagement it gets, that's what it gets. I don't check likes or comments, because even if I reply to a comment in real life in time, like immediately, it's not going to make a big difference.
Totally. I kind of wait, and then I just do all of it at the same time, or I like everything, just to show people thank you for, thank you for responding to something that I did. But yeah, you don't need to do it immediately. I actually have my notifications off on purpose so that I don't get notifications constantly.
It is a lot of pressure, and for me, it's very annoying to have to post every single day.
Totally. It's like the enemy and the friend at the same time.
So I have one day, I choose my content, lay it out, post it, I'm done. I'm done with that project, and it works for me, and I know when my next milestone is to create more content, schedule it out, post it. And that way I feel more free from social media and its pressure to constantly post. Post. It just gets too overwhelming, and it can also get depressing if you don't see a lot of engagement.
Totally.
And I've noticed that engagement is actually the highest between Tuesday. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday are the highest engagement days. It's because everybody is back to work
and everyone's on their phones.
But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are the lowest, because everybody just wants to unplug and not do anything social media.
Not be on their phone.
I
feel like Monday morning is always the best shout. Wait until Monday morning to post that new piece.
So and like time-wise, 11 o'clock is really the best to if you can schedule it so it's also time zone bound. Basically, it's 11 o'clock for everybody who is seeing it. That's even better, because So last question for you: how to find and apply for artist residencies?
So residencies, there's a bunch of different websites. Artistres.org. There's a lot, actually. I can give you a list of them if you'd like to share with people. And you just sign up for those, and then periodically you get emails, and there's like 5 different residencies. Sometimes they don't pay the artist, so you really have to make sure that you look at the like fine print of everything, because sometimes you think that they're going to pay the artist, or it's free, or it's whatever, and then you look at the fine print and you're actually going to be charged $2,000 per week just to be at a residency. So there's lots of ones like that out there where you have to be careful.
Hmm.
And those are very much promoted. So if you do like search one time on Google artist residencies, you're going to see ads come up all the time. And I see that a lot. So I'm always like signing up for new websites and seeing ads, but then sometimes those ads you really have to be careful and read all of it. Read what the residency is about. Really like dive into it. Don't just simply apply to whatever you see that you think might be amazing, because I've also wasted my time doing that. I've applied to residencies, then received something back, and then they tell me what it actually
Yeah.
entails, and I think,
Yeah.
okay, that's not what
No,
I
thank
want to
you.
be.
But
I want to
but
be
no,
in
thank you.
residency
Yes.
that's merit based. There are some that are merit based. I think those are really they're a little harder to get, but they're very, very important, because
Yeah.
they show you that the judges are actually looking at the quality of the work and the content of the work that you're producing and your proposal and why you want to be there, as opposed to just, oh, who's going to pay for this? What kind of
Yeah.
artist will pay for this? Okay, we'll accept
Yeah.
it. So there's different kinds of residencies, and I think distinguishing the two is really important. And maybe you want to start with the ones that are easier to get into, and then kind of work your way up to the ones that, they choose 8 people out of 600 applicant kind of ones. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's just about building more under your belt as well. So it's whatever you want to do, really. But yeah.
Cool. All right. So how do you, so what websites do you use? Do you use Cafe?
Yeah, I use Cafe. Cafe emails me. They have some good ones every so often. They really do.
Yeah.
I also hear about things from people that I know, people who have been on residencies that I know, and they tell me about them and tell me to apply to them. So it's just word of mouth too. Artistres.org. There's one called Info Artistland, and all of those have email subscriptions. So you can just, yeah, Call for Art, I think, Call for Entry.
Yeah. That's the Cafe.
Yes, yes. There's a lot that I get emails with. And yeah, and I read all those emails. I think it's important to actually, sit down and go through everything, see what there is opportunity wise, because some are really great. Some have
Yes.
amazing opportunities that, why not apply?
That's totally true. Yeah. You never know like who you will meet and what will come out of it, but you definitely will get a really good time, just,
Yeah, and I think being around other artists, if it's a
yeah.
residency where there's like 4 other artists, I think that's really important, because it kind of takes you into more of a critique mode where you're finally getting like feedback from other artists rather than just your social media or being by
Yeah.
yourself. Because I feel like I'm very isolated in my studio all the time, and being able to talk to other artists about what I'm like currently doing and bouncing ideas off of each other and collaborating, even like that's one of my favorite things to do, is to collaborate with other artists, is so important for growth. And I think that lots of artists just kind of stay and plateau because they haven't had experiences where they get to have their work critiqued. And
Yeah.
you can have that in art school, but then once that's done, you're still an artist, you're still practicing, and you're still creating new work. So I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm so thankful for this interview, and this is amazing. And thank you so much for sharing all of
Yes,
your,
thank you.
on these topics. And so this concludes our episode for our community and podcast. So I will list Rachel's links so you guys can check out her website, follow her everywhere, and I will also list the links that we have mentioned here. So, artistres.org and Call for Entry. I think it's .org as well. So you guys can check that out and see if you can find some great opportunities there too. So thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I've had a wonderful time speaking to you.